I'm Janet Santos, Saginaw City Clerk, and I'd like to welcome everyone here to the November 21st, 2022 Council meeting. And we will begin our meeting with a prayer and pledge of allegiance led by Councilmember Copeland. I ask you to please stand.
If you would like to participate, may you bow your heads. Gracious Father, we thank you for another opportunity for us to come together as newly elected council members, as a community, to work towards a greater tomorrow and a better future. Father, I ask, oh God, that as we go throughout this agenda today, that we will accept your will, that as we select our new mayor and our new mayor pro tem, that you will give us grace, wisdom, and insight on how to go about that. Father, we ask that your kingdom come and that your will be done in the city of Saginaw, that we will live the life that you've called us to be, that we will work in unity, that we would hold the missions and the values of our city, that we will continue to speak words of prosperity and of faith over our community, that we will work towards a greater tomorrow, and that we will be anointed, that council members and our community will be anointed with wisdom, grace, and humility to work towards that future. Lord, we give you all glory, honor, and praise. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I do remind the audience and staff to remain quiet and refrain from any speaking or sidebar comments. Please silence your electronic devices. And tonight's meeting follows the election of the Saginaw City Council, and it is my honor to announce our elects. Please stand when your name is called and remain standing. Our re-elected council members: Brenda F. Moore, Autumn L. Scherzer, Michael D. Balls, and our new council member-elect is Priscilla Garcia. Let's welcome them. And I'd like to inform you that all council member-elects have previously taken their oath of office. Members, you may now take your seat at the council table. You're at the end, Brenda. Here you go. I will now call the meeting to order. Deputy Clerk Bolzman, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Moore.
Are you here?
Here. I'm sorry. Here.
Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Williams.
Present.
Councilmember Bench.
Present.
Councilmember Balls.
Present.
Councilmember Scherzer.
Present.
Councilmember Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Flores.
Present.
Councilmember Copeland.
present.
You have all 9 members present.
Thank you. That gives us a quorum. So the first order of business is the election of a mayor. Council members, now due to the additional stipend that is paid to the mayor, you can nominate yourself, but you have to abstain from voting. Is that clear? You can nominate yourself, but you cannot then vote. I will at this time open nominations for the position of mayor. Councilmember Bench?
Brenda Moore.
Councilmember Moore, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Are there any other nominations for the position of mayor? Well, seeing none, are there any other nominations for the position of mayor? I believe that's my third request.
I would have a nomination. I don't want to be present.
Sorry, you're out of order. We're at council business right now. Hearing no more nominations, I will close the nominations. Deputy Clerk Bozeman, would you please take a roll call?
Councilmember Balls,
Yes.
Councilmember Bench,
Yes.
Councilmember Copeland.
Okay, we're not a yes or no. We are
Yay.
saying the name of the nominee. So it should be Mayor, or Moore.
Councilmember Balls,
More.
Councilmember Bench,
More.
Councilmember Copeland,
More.
Councilmember Flores,
More.
Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Moore cannot.
Can't vote.
Councilmember Garcia. More. Councilmember Scherzer.
More.
Councilmember Sylvia.
More.
And Councilmember Williams.
More.
You have 8 votes for Moore.
That is excellent. It is my pleasure to introduce the City Mayor, Brenda F. Moore. You have an oath of office to take. I don't know, do you want to come around this way so we can kind of see your lovely face? And for any photo ops that anyone might have. There you go, right back at home. Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
for the position of Mayor
for the position of Mayor
for the City of
for
Saginaw.
the City of Saginaw.
Very good. Print your name. Very good. You will follow the same procedure for Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, I had to read that.
It's here. Now we will open up the floor. I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
We will open up the floor for the position of Mayor Pro Tem. Let me go down and get it right.
Well, Mayor, let's just remind the council that they can nominate themselves and they can vote for themselves. There's no additional pay stipend for Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, let me say that. You can nominate yourself. You can vote for yourself. There is no extra pay with being the Mayor Pro Tem. The floor is now open for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Lamar Sylvia.
Do you accept?
Wow. Oh, yeah, sure would.
Are there any more nominations? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Bench.
Do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Are there any more nominations?
Point of information, are we able to do more than one nomination per person?
No, you nominated someone already,
So not
one person.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
I nominate.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Now,
Go ahead.
okay, Michael Ball.
Do you accept?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else? Last and final time, is there anyone else? The nominees have now been closed. Roll call vote. Madam, am I there?
Yes, but remind them that they're saying the last name of the council person they're voting for, the nominee they're gonna vote for. It's not a yes or a no. You have to say the last name. who
You
you're
are
voting
saying the nominee's name, their last name, when you vote. Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Balls,
I can't vote for myself.
Yes, you
Yes, you can.
Oh, I would like to definitely cast a vote for Michael Balls.
Councilmember Bench,
Bench.
Councilmember Copeland,
Bench.
Councilmember Flores,
Lamar Sylvia.
Councilmember Moore, Mayor Moore.
I thought I was last.
She has your alphabetical in here. We can come back to you. Councilmember Garcia,
Bench.
Councilmember Scherzer,
Bench.
Councilmember Lamar Sylvia,
Sylvia.
Councilmember Williams,
Bench.
now Mayor Moore.
Bench.
That was John.
Is eliminated, right?
Hold on a minute.
I'm sorry, she's tallying it up.
Yes. All right, so we have 6 votes for Bench, 2 for Lamar Sylvia, and 1 for Balls. So that eliminates Michael Balls.
So now we need another roll call for the 2 candidates remaining.
Right, so we need, we're in the process of doing another roll call for the 2 who are left. That is Lamar Sylvia and Bench.
Ready? Councilmember Balls,
Sylvia.
Councilmember Bench,
Bench.
Councilmember Copeland,
Bench.
Councilmember Flores,
Sylvia.
Councilmember Garcia,
Bench.
Councilmember Scherzer,
Bench.
Councilmember Sylvia,
Sylvia.
Councilmember Williams,
Bench.
and Mayor Moore.
Bench.
All right, you have 6 votes for Bench and 2 for Sylvia.
So Councilmember Bench is elected Mayor Pro Tem. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of
the duties of
Mayor Pro Tem
Mayor Pro Tem
for the City of Saginaw
for the City of Saginaw,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. There you go.
Okay. Let's get busy. Do we have any announcements, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I do, Mayor. Let me just turn a page here quick. I'd like to make everyone aware that a revised agenda has been distributed, and the revision is an addition of a public hearing. And it's regarding resolution number 4, which is on your agenda, and it's authorizing the submission of the MDOT Transportation Alternative Program Grant for the Cass Street reconstruction project. And I'd like to remind everyone that your yard waste pickup continues on your regular collection day, and it will run through December 2nd. Collection of old Christmas lighting is being accepted at Saginaw City Public Works Building, located at 1435 South Washington Avenue. And that collection will run through January 15th of 2023. City Council will hold a special single-subject meeting next Monday, November 28th at 5:30 p.m. The single subject is the ARPA funding for public health. And our next regular council meeting will be next Monday as well, on November 28th at 6:30 p.m. Mayor, that takes us to public hearings.
The purpose of the public hearing is for the public to address council as a whole and for council to hear the information provided by the speaker for consideration regarding the special actions being requested. Speakers must limit their remarks to the subject of the public hearing. Please begin by stating your name, your position, should you support or oppose the subject of the public hearing. The first speaker will be allowed 10 minutes to present. Everyone after that will have 3 minutes. A public hearing is not a question and answer session. Therefore, questions must be directly addressed, should not be directly directed at any council member. Madam Clerk.
Our first public hearing tonight is regarding the request to amend the Brownfield Plan to include 2205 North Michigan Avenue.
Is there anyone here to speak on this subject matter? Please state your name, come up to the podium. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Jenny Doherty. I am the consultant for the developer for this project. So I would like to present just a little bit of the information regarding the plan itself. The site itself is, as mentioned, 2205 Michigan. That's located at Michigan and Davenport at that intersection. The site's about a half acre in size, and it is currently a vacant gasoline service station. It operated between about 1970 and 1999, and then there was various automotive service garages in there until roughly 2010, 2012. The property itself had a previous underground storage tank system. In 1995, it failed a tightness test. So because of that, there's some residual contamination on that site, and that's really the reason for the request in front of you tonight. Even though product at that time in 1995, product from the petroleum was recovered on the site, it was not granted closure by the state. So it is currently considered what's an open release, and that just means that, the contamination still exists on that property above appropriate levels, and the state can't sign off to close it and consider it taken care of. The contaminants that are still there do represent a vapor intrusion concern for the upcoming development for that property, and that's an added cost in order to do that, that project. So the project involves the demolition of that current building and construction of a new facility there that will be a dispensary, or currently is planned to be. Also with this project, the goals are also to improve the site circulation of that property. Right now, at that intersection, there's roughly 4 vehicular ins and outs from that, so they're going to reduce those as well to kind of make that circulation of the site improve. New sidewalks as well, so anybody who is able to walk to the new location in that development would have better access to it by those sidewalk improvements. It also entails new utilities for the building, landscaping along the right-of-way along both of those streets there. And then the request, of course, for the brownfield is due to those conditions that have really increased the cost in order for them to do anything with the property. These are conditions that, anybody who wishes to do something with the site would incur, and they're beyond a typical redevelopment. A lot of the costs that you see in the brownfield plan are related to environmental assessments that tell us, the history of the site, why is there contamination, what that contamination is, and how do we deal with it. And then there's what we consider the department specific, and that really means that these are activities that the Michigan Department of EGLE, so energy, Great Lakes, and the environment, those are the things that the state wants to see in order for that property to be safely occupied, not only by employees, but the public in general as well. Some of the demo and infrastructure items are included in there, as well as relocating the utilities that we talked about. The total request is $732,990. However, the limitations of a brownfield plan by the state, we don't expect that much to be reimbursed through the plan, so the resulting benefit to the developer to help offset some of those additional costs is expected to be much lower than that over the course of the plan. That's really the gist of it. I'm happy to answer questions. I don't know if you're allowed to with the way this is set up, but that's really all I have for you. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on behalf?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Tom Miller. I'm the Vice President for Saginaw Future. I'll just be really brief here. I know we have a lot of business today, but Lori Brown, Yolanda Jones, and I and the rest of the staff did review this brownfield proposal. As the consultant mentioned, it is for a marijuana dispensary. This is outside of the DDA, so it is zoned appropriately. We checked with your new employee, Cassie Zimmerman, to ensure that. You know, I think one benefit to these brownfield plans, specifically as it relates to marijuana dispensaries, is the fact that these buildings are getting fixed up. This building, if you're, you know, if you drive down State Street and come into our community, this has been a blighted building for probably, I don't know, 20 years maybe. And it doesn't show very well for folks that are visiting like the Dow Event Center. I think, you know, if you've read some of the articles recently on marijuana dispensaries, there has been some attrition, meaning that not all will survive. I think it's you know, early in the game. There's a lot of competition, but I think one benefit, whether the business succeeds or fail, any business succeeds or fail, the fact that the company's investing money into the real estate, they're addressing some of the blight issues, they're addressing environmental contamination issues, which are, I think, good for the city. And the building will be fixed up and landscaped, and we'll have a nice building. Now, hopefully, all businesses that we work with in the city are successful. But it's a good plan, and the staff reviewed it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else to speak to this matter? Is there anyone else to speak to this matter? Last and final time, is there anyone else to speak to this matter? I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second public hearing tonight is regarding the Transportation Alternatives Program Grant with the state of Michigan for the proposed reconstruction of Cass Street.
Again, the first presenter has 10 minutes. Thereafter, it is 3 minutes. Do we have anyone to speak to this matter? Do we have anyone to speak to this matter? Last and final time, do we have anyone here that would like to speak to this matter? I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, we are now at public input.
I'd like to welcome all of those who signed up to speak to address the council tonight. Please speak slowly and clearly so we don't miss what you're saying. You will be called to the podium by the clerk. All speakers have 3 minutes to present, which is timed by the clerk, so be sure you cover your main points. Once again, I will reiterate, I need for the audience as well as the council members to respect the members in the audience and respect each other. And this is aired on SGTV, channel 191. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Our first speaker tonight is Deja Smith. Thank you. Let's go to Audrey Beatty. Okay, thank you. Vincent McMillan.
Distinguished council members, it is my honor to petition you and advocate for my wife of 37 years, Dr. Gwendolyn Thompson McMillan. She is a 20-year veteran researcher who has put her research into practice for children, parents, and church literacy. She has submitted a proposal to receive ARPA funding to expand the RLS Reading Initiative, of which she is the founder and project director. RLS is a tested and proven program that seeks to invest in and to build on the human literacy infrastructure between the church, school, and the homes of children and parents. This initiative trains community tutors to teach K-5 children foundational reading skills that reinforce what's learned in school. The online and face-to-face tutoring session also increased the digital literacy skills of students, parents, and tutors. RLS also has a family parent component to teach parents at-home activities that reinforce what their children are learning in school. Council members, you will have Dr. McMillan's biographical sketch in front of you. She is at the tip of the spear and ready to help to make radical changes in the life of the people in this community, if you so choose to invest in human infrastructure. Dr. McMillan has faithfully labored and prepared herself for this moment. If a portion of the ARPA funds that this distinguished council are tasked to disseminate are awarded to the RLS initiative, not only will the lives of children and families be transformed, but the landscape and infrastructure of our community will also be transformed. In 1859, Horace Mann, as president of Antioch College, gave his valedictory address to the graduating class, and he said, I quote, "I beseech you to treasure up in your heart these my parting words. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity." Council members, together we can win a victory for humanity if we connect community building to literacy. Dr. McMillan's proposal should be awarded. On its own merit, it has made a sustaining and societal impact in the lives of families. As a city, we are in desperate need of this kind of work and research that Dr. McMillan has her soul tied to. Her lifelong work is born, nurtured, and cradled in the fidelity of the Black church and the historic witnesses of its sojourners and other well-meaning partners of faith. If we can connect literacy to community building, we will emerge a stronger and more vibrant people in the city of Saginaw. Abolitionist Frederick Douglass once said, "It's easier to build strong children." Amen.
Never put a preacher.
Can I not make a motion?
Never put a preacher at a mic. And a politician.
Point of information, clerk, may I make a motion to extend the time or no?
Through the mayor, please.
Huh? Am I still able to make a motion to extend the time if people so need it?
You can.
All right, thank you. I was told no a second ago. All right, thank you.
He's making them up. Are you
I think
saying?
he's all done now, but,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
All right. Next,
Our
Madam
next
Clerk.
speaker is Porsche Spiller.
Good evening, Council. My name is Portia Spiller.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm actually one of the family members who, I'm here on behalf of the RLS project, Literacy Project. I'm one of the family members that Dr. McMillan spoke so highly of and the impact that it makes. My son did the program it was the summer going into his 4th grade year. That was right after COVID. So everything was all virtual, and having that extra definitely helped prepare him for 4th and 5th grade, which reading is a huge, huge thing. He's a 5th grader now, and he's excelling ridiculously because he had that extra help. The program definitely encouraged the kids. It's called I Read, I Lead, I Succeed. And it really pushed the kids to be leaders. It really pushed them to be advocates for their own reading and their own literacy. It allowed them to pick books that were interesting to them. They really included the kids in what they wanted to do and what they wanted to read, and it made reading a fun thing. As a parent, life happens. I do my best to try to make sure that he gets his 30 minutes of reading a day as his school requires me. The program definitely held me accountable for that. I got a text message every day when we were supposed to from Dr. McMillan, "Hey, is Cody gonna be on today?" He was extremely encouraging to Cody, and now when they see each other, they've built that relationship that it's more of a family thing versus just he was my mentor who helped me read and learn reading skills. It's my hope that you guys do give funding to this because, again, reading is a very important thing, as most of us do know. It's going to be a part of his life forever. So when he has those skills and those tools to be able to move forward in his academic career, I just think that that's a really good thing. So it's my hope that you guys do approve Dr. Gwynn's proposal tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Gwendolyn McMillan.
Good evening, Mayor Moore, City Council members, and everyone present. I'm Dr. Gwendolyn Thompson McMillan, Professor of Literacy in the Department of Reading and Language Arts at Oakland University, and Project Director of the I Read, I Lead, I Succeed Literacy Program. Will my RLS family please stand with me? There are many in the hallway as well. Reading is a civil right and the foundation upon which everything else is built. But this foundation is not stable for many of our Saginaw children. Recent NAEP data shows the greatest drop in reading in the history of the test scores. And Michigan has the lowest reading scores for Black children in the entire country. Only 1 out of 10 of our Black fourth grade children in Michigan are at proficient level. That means 9 out of 10 of our Black fourth graders cannot read their English, social studies, science, or math book. In Saginaw, several schools have 90 to 94% of our children who cannot read. If we don't help them now, many of our children risk third grade retention, and they are 6 times more likely to drop out of school altogether. They are suffering. They need our help. I am called to lead this effort. Raised on Saginaw's east side, I attended Houghton Central and Saginaw High. I was told, go away, prepare myself, and come back to help the community. And so I did. God blessed me to receive degrees from University of Michigan, SVSU, and a PhD from Michigan State University. I advocate for our Saginaw children wherever I go and work to bring resources to the community. I represent Saginaw on the Pre-K-12 Michigan Literacy Commission, where I was appointed by Governor Whitmer, and highlighted successes of Saginaw projects during my presidential talk, which is on the handout that you have. As a product of the Saginaw community, I stand before you today representing Read, Lead, Succeed, the Saginaw Village of faith-based community partners and our K-5 children and families. We implore you to fund our evidence-based program. Our partnership includes 25 churches, Saginaw Public Schools, Saginaw ISD, SVSU, Oakland University, Houghton Jones, several daycares, and Rooted in Hope. Trained community tutors work directly with our K-5 children, teachers, and parents during the school year using materials that we created specifically to meet their needs. This cross-generational approach provides training and jobs for college and high school scholars who work as summer tutors and serve as role models for the children. With ARPA funding, we can expand the program and continue to strengthen the intellectual infrastructure of our Saginaw community. It takes a village to educate a child. Our Saginaw children need us now.
Mayor.
Make them your priority.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, we can't do that. Okay, we're still in a meeting. Madam Clerk.
Our next speaker is Betty Cheney.
Good evening,
Okay.
Mayor and Saginaw City Council. My name is Mrs. Cheney. My husband and I have lived in Saginaw County for over 50 years, where we have raised 3 children in the Buena Vista Township community. I taught 1 year at Weiss Elementary School, 12 years as secondary English teacher at Buena Vista High School, 16 years as principal of C.F. Bronco Elementary School in Buena Vista, and 16 years as adjunct faculty member at Delta College teaching English. I presently serve as a Sunday school teacher and a Wednesday night Bible study teacher for children ages 3 through 8 at the Mount Olive Institutional Missionary Baptist Church. The I Read, I Lead, I Succeed program under Dr. McMillan offers a unique perspective as a tutor. Tutors do not work with a class of 25 or 35 students. There is a relationship that envelops the needs, wants, desires, and goals of our children in this particular community. The reading selections address this need. As an adjunct faculty member, I became familiar with students who wanted another chance just to become. I also became familiar with students who just felt entitled. As principal of C.F. Bronco Elementary School, many of my children who lived on the B streets only knew of the liquor basket and the McDonald's across the street. As a secondary English teacher, many of our students were eager to gain meaningful employment across the street at the plant, or just to become a basketball star. But much of that never panned out. Reading could have provided other options, especially at an early age, especially when reading skills, strategies, and development are so crucial. And by no means is this a slur on any educational institution. All human beings were created for a specific purpose, to do good works. Somewhere along the way, we have forgotten to tell and share our stories with our children orally and in print. Reading is not just calling words. It provides an opportunity for our children to see in print stories more than those on a printed page, but to relate and envision a new way of viewing not only the world in which we live, but to see themselves as more, as thinking, understanding human beings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker.
Please don't do that.
We're just showing support, Madam Mayor, as you often did yourself, sitting in the same seat.
You are out of order, sir.
Mayor, our next speaker is Rhonda Butler.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and the City Council.
Good evening.
My name is Rhonda Farrell Butler. I was educated in the Saginaw Public Schools. I grew up on 4th and Kirk, 2nd and Johnson, and I am proud to be a Saginaw citizen. I am the 3rd generation. My family has been here since 1929. And so the investment of our community is very important. The program that I would like to talk about a little bit that kind of blended all of this together with Dr. McMillan was a program that we held in the Saginaw Public Library where I served as Children and Teen Services Coordinator for 38 years. The Primetime Family Reading Time was a humanities-based program that pushed storytelling, discussion, and it helped to build a foundation for lifelong learning and a love for reading. If our children and their families are not able to read, they cannot do STEM. I used to tell our children, you cannot drive a car because you won't be able to pass your test. So whatever we do in life, we need to know how to read. And so I beg of you as a community to really look at this program that will help to nurture the total child and their family. Learning, literacy, and leadership, they really do go together to strengthen our families and our communities. Without having strong families, we will not have strong communities. So please
think again about how can we join together to ensure that as a community, we support children and their families in preschool, K through 5, and beyond, building their social development, providing thematic programming, and pushing them to feel more secure and confident about who they are. Because we all know if we feel uncomfortable where we are, we will not excel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Destiny Finley. Gone. Thank you. Eugene Seals.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, distinguished elected officials. My name is Eugene Seals Jr. I'm here in regards to the Civitan Recreational Facility. I've entered a proposal previously under the ARPA guidelines, and I wanted to give an update on that. The Civitan Recreational Facility, you do have a handout in front of you. The Civitan Recreational Facility has many facets to our plan. The first area to be addressed with this plan is that of abatement and structural and plumbing. The monies given to our project from the ARPA dollars will not be used for running programs, as our programs have been running for 22 plus years. What we need is a space, and the monies will make this building usable again. The second phase will include security, construction, and heating and cooling. And finally, our furniture and the programming can begin. Our program we currently run our programs, and those programs will sustain the ARPA dollars after they are used. We have already spoken to other possible ARPA recipients about collaboration, and it sounds like I have a new one that I need to speak with. But we want to make sure we are not duplicating services. Our plan is to bring jobs, consumers, and excitement back to the area. We have 2 levels of our plan, and depending on where it is decided for us, that will determine what our plan will work out to be. Programs like Pride Basketball 21, where the 2022 girls 17U national champions came out of this area. The Dr. Eugene and Joy Seals Foundation that runs a summer program, after-school program, and gives scholarships to local teens to go to college. The Power of Dad, who gives the 22 life lessons that you would have learned had your father been in your house. And the Ultimate Coaching Clinic, which allow college coaches from around the country to come to our area and to coach our coaches. These are just a few of the programs that will be run out of the Civitan that will make that place their home. And my job as a product of the city of Saginaw is to help revitalize not only the Civitan, but the city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next speaker is Jamie Forbes.
Good evening, Mayor Moore, Mayor Pro Tem Bench, City Council members, City Manager, and staff. Warm greetings to our newest council member, Councilwoman Garcia. Also, congrats to Clerk Santos and her entire team on another successful election. I'm Jamie Forbes. I come to you tonight representing STARS. I know that the ARPA distribution process has been complex, with much earnest conversation and deliberation. We were proud to submit a proposal in May and would like to reiterate our hopes to you this evening as you've begun to make decisions about how to use the ARPA funds. We are proud to be in a community of folks doing amazing work to improve the quality of life here, but in order for our neighbors to take full advantage of these programs, to get and keep jobs, to access healthcare and education, to have independence, they must have transportation. We believe that our proposal is one of the few that hits on all 5 of the focus areas that you defined. youth and family, neighborhood preservation and beautification, health, economic development, and housing. Our costs have gone up in every possible way, but no increased funding has come from the state. Despite these challenges, we have continued to grow the agency and innovate. We are ready to step up and do more with your help. Our proposal includes 3 parts. You should have the proposal in front of you. With doubling our staff and budget in the past 6 years, we have quickly outgrown our current facility. We ask for support for a feasibility study to allow us to explore next steps, including the possible redevelopment of a Saginaw treasure, the Potter Street Station. Second, we request consideration for funding that would allow us to improve city infrastructure for our riders and potential riders by installing more bus pads, benches, and shelters at city bus stops, which would be a game changer for our riders, especially those that are senior and disabled. These needs aren't flashy, and although we pursued funding for this purpose in the past, we fear that this might be our only shot at these essential improvements. Third, we've made big progress to tackle the replacement of our aging fleet by getting creative, but we are still running many vehicles that will soon be beyond their federally designated useful life. Funding for new vehicles would get us closer to a sustainable rolling stock plan. In closing, we would appreciate any opportunity to make our case to you as you deliberate how to spend this transformational money. We are more than willing to answer any questions you may have or brainstorm other ways that we can be of service to Saginaw. We hope to be a part of this conversation. As always, we invite you for a tour of our facility anytime and are eager to hear how we can fit into your vision for Saginaw. We also appreciate any advocacy you'd be willing to undertake on our behalf in hopes of increasing state funding. In a sea of important projects, we respectfully ask for your consideration in our ARPA requests. Thank you for this opportunity. Wow. We've never been so on time before. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was good. Our next speaker is Cecilia Overa.
Gotta put that way down. Hello, my name is Cecilia Olvetta. I am a resident, homeowner, landlord, the ARPA Property Tax Foreclosure Prevention Manager for the City of Detroit, a volunteer at the Lee Commons, and the Programs Manager for Saginaw. Both efforts led by Alex Mixter to promote preservation of our existing housing and commercial buildings. I encourage any of you to come to our events to learn more about both of these efforts as well. We are nearing 2023 and running down the clock to allocate ARPA money. I do empathize a ton, as these are processes and rules that I've been operating under for about a year now as an employee of another municipality. The city has asked for public input and proposals in regards to how they should allocate these funds. And I think it is clear that there may be a lot of confusion about the process of how this will go down. For the municipality that I work for, the process was to ask for that public input. City staff and officials decided on what projects to prioritize. Those requests were then put out into the public for organizations and businesses to bid on. And then, of course, those potential contracts went to City Council for vote. And I'm not certain if the process that the City of Saginaw plans to operate through has been made publicly known to residents. But I hope that in the near future that process will be clarified, so that way maybe you can get a little less harassment about ARPA funding. So I encourage you all to consider brainstorming on how you can provide these regular updates. And I know I don't look like much. I'm young, and I look even younger than I am, and you know, I'm pregnant, so you get a little big, and of course your dress clothes don't fit you anymore. But I'm also down to help brainstorm. I know many of you, and yeah, hope everyone has a good holiday.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next speaker is Denise Meyer.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. Thank you for having us here. I'm speaking on behalf of the Potter Street Station. I'm the current president. And like many businesses and other organizations in the community, COVID hit us hard and kept us from making very much money in 2020. We're trying to get back on in line, and therefore we're talking to you about ARPA money to help restore the station, basically to stabilize it until such time as hopefully STARS can take it over and make it a transportation hub for the area. Let's see, restoration of the station would also help the neighborhood. It would help eliminate blight and revitalize the neighborhood. And also, there would be a beautification effort that way. It would create interest in the city, bringing in tourists to see the building. We have people stopping constantly to see it now, even in the state that it's in. And I work at SRI in Owasso also. There are a lot of train buffs in the state and the country that come there, and some have made it up to Saginaw to see our station. So if it were restored, it would draw even more people in and create jobs. So partnering with STARS eventually to take over and restore the station, that is one of the benefits of creating jobs, creating interest in the city, things to do, somewhere to go, and restoring the area, that particularly blighted neighborhood. Thank you for making us a local historic district recently. We really appreciate that. We also have the support of Dan Kildee, and I want to quote from him that honoring history is a way that can fuel economic growth. And there's not much more history than our building. It's one of those gems in the city that do draw people. I also volunteer at the Japanese Cultural Center, and while we're there one time this summer, a couple from Detroit area said that they were here to see places in Saginaw. They were gonna go to the Castle Museum, and I said, well, see Hoyt Library while you're there. And I would have loved to have said, see our station, but it isn't in shape to have visitors at this time. So we're trying to revitalize it enough that we can stabilize it to be able to have visitors. So. Now I want to close with saying that in our case, investment in history is investment in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, our next speaker is Terry Alexander. Terry Alexander?
Hello. I would just like to say congratulations to the new mayor, first of all. I'm here to talk about the blight problems and the AARP funds and the COVID relief funds that the city has to take care of the blight problems in the houses in the city. Particularly a few of them that are around the house that I just bought on Ansley Street. I would really like to talk about 15, 16, 18. It's like a 4-unit house. It was condemned, or supposedly the consumer guy told me they cut the power off 4 years ago. So there hasn't been anybody living there for 4 years. The windows are wide open. It's got black mold in it. It's got pigeons, raccoons. It's got habitats that shouldn't be there. Not only that, but the house that I bought, the guy that owned the place takes all the tenants' stuff when he evicts the tenants and throws it over the fence. So there is a mound of trash on this property that I bought, and it needs to be taken care of. I need some help. I've asked for help several times. I call these guys over here in 208. They tell me they'll send somebody right out. It's a laughing matter. I mean, they tell me they're gonna send somebody out that day. I take the day off from work and wait for these people, and they never show up. I've lost money trying to get these people to come out. And like I said, it's a joke to them because they'll tell me they're gonna come out. They never come out. And I just want the issues with these blight homes, they need to be knocked down. We don't need no more weed dispensaries in this town. We don't need to help people with $730,000 so they can sell dope on the corner. We need to knock these houses down and get them gone, because this blight is terrible. You know, it's terrible for the city. It's gonna make the city worth more value if you guys get rid of these homes. And it's an issue that needs to be taken care of now. I've been here to like 5 meetings to talk about this, and I would just like to see more get done. I'm seeing houses knocked down, so I am happy about that, but more houses need to be knocked down. These houses don't need to be fixed. They don't need to be sold. When people ain't living in them for more than 2 years, they need to be gone. You guys know that. They got mold in them. So, I mean, if you guys do your jobs, that'd be wonderful. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Victoria Harris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Todd Mayor, Manager, City Council members, and all in attendance. My name is Victoria. I reside in Buena Vista Township. My company, Oasis, will be the first African-American grocery store established due to the food desert that plagued our community. When Kroger shut its doors in 2016 on Dixie, the community was devastated, and we were forced to travel outside our community to access healthy foods. In areas where food in areas where food is scarce, it is more common to find fast food restaurants and corner stores instead of grocery stores. I would call it fast food oppression through poor nutrition. The increasing growth of fast food in urban neighborhoods with relocation of supermarkets. This migration, combined with the lack of transportation outside our community and higher prices charged by local convenience stores, has made the fast food the dominant food source in many low-income urban communities. Fast food is not a nutritional substitute to fresh produce like fruits and vegetables found in the grocery stores. Food from restaurants are highly processed. Talk about convenience stores in a food desert. I'm not against the existence of the dollar stores. I'm a shopper myself. I'm against the proliferation of the dollar store in our community because there's a direct correlation between the presence and food disparities. The convenience stores is just that, convenience, because they typically stock highly processed foods and rarely affect after fresh products. In many low-income areas across the United States lack access to healthy foods and has been well-documented concerns, and the city of Saginaw and Buena Vista is no exceptions. People are dying in record numbers due to poor food in our communities. Health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Center for Disease Control and Prevention indicates that these conditions disproportionately affect African American community that has poor access to healthy, wholesome food. We need a grocery store in the Buena Vista area, plain and simple. No farmers market, no community gardens, no handing out boxes of food. We need to stop putting Band-Aids on a big situation. I'm not saying these things isn't good things, because we are trying to get whatever is indigenous to the region, but we can't grow bananas. It's not going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Alex Mixter.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So I just want to open by saying it's always a pleasure coming to council, because on nights like tonight when we have this many people, it's pretty amazing to see how many people are truly working on so many different things. And really, I just want to say thank you, and God bless all the people who are advocating for the children. There are many, many issues ahead of us, and the whole conversation with ARPA is going to be a very interesting one as we continue forward. But I'm here Although I wear many hats in the city, I'm actually here on behalf of the train station over on Potter Street. A couple of months ago, I was actually appointed as the chair of the maintenance committee for that building, which, as you can imagine, quite the job. So one of the things that we hear often is that building even salvageable? People look at it and it freaks them out, and we are really pleased that through what is the name of it? Okay, through the feasibility study, we have actually really been able to work with the Spicer Group and also with STARS to learn things about the building that we have not been able to learn before. And we just recently heard that the building is actually structurally sound. We have engineers that are confirming that this can be done. And usually one of the things that comes after that is it going to be worth the investment? And we have this beautiful opportunity on the other end where we have a transportation company through STARS trying to take over a train station to turn it into a transportation hub with one of the most iconic buildings in the city of Saginaw. You usually see me on behalf of buildings. I kind of joke I'm like the Lorax of the buildings. I speak for the buildings, but there are so many opportunities here and the ways that we need to support public transportation as well. That is a huge piece of what we need to have in our community, and this could be a very, very outstanding win-win-win throughout the whole thing. So really, we have an ARPA proposal in, and what we're trying to do right now is make sure the building is there for STARS to redevelop. While it is in good condition, there are massive holes in the roof. We need to address these immediately. In fact, yesterday, there are lots of things we need to be taking care of, but we are on a shoestring budget as a nonprofit. So really, any investment to go into mothballing the building will preserve it where we can then redevelop it in the future and hopefully do great things for the neighborhood as well. So I just want to say thank you, and again, congratulations on everybody's elections and all of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jacob Way.
Hello, City Council. I will try to keep this quick. So first of all, I want to applaud the patience and due diligence that the council is taking in deciding these ARPA fund decisions. This money can revitalize our whole entire city. It is quite a powerful thing, but it can also tear us apart. So I appreciate the patience and the due diligence you're taking to make the decisions correctly. I am here from the Potter Street Station. I am the vice president of the station, but I'm also a local business owner. I own Deepwater Games, but I also have worked with Oxide Media, who is a sponsor of the Saginaw Spirit, and also is the owner of the Jefferson One building. So we have invested heavily into the city. I'm originally from Chicago, so I'm not actually a Saginaw born, but about 3 years ago I moved here and I fell in love with the city. At first I thought, oh, I would just be here for a little bit. I was just gonna stop in, go somewhere else, a bigger city, maybe something different. And I just fell in love with the people, the buildings, the businesses, every part of this city. And I think that revitalizing a building like Potter Street Station can bring more people to this city, and it can make people fall in love, just like I did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our final speaker tonight is Paul Nugent.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council and Mr. Morales. I find myself here today. A few years ago, just about 2.5 years ago, I bought a house in Saginaw. I'd never been to Saginaw. I bought it mainly for myself, but I also bought it for an old friend, a Vietnam vet, a friend of mine, who was being released from an institution in Cairo, and he desperately needed somewhere to live. And I was looking at a house in Bay City, but it wasn't right. So I desperately sought another one and found one here at North Oakley Street in Saginaw. I should probably say where I live, 419 North Oakley Street in Saginaw. And as I say, I knew nothing about the city of Saginaw, except for in the Simon and Garfunkel song. And all I can say, much like our previous speaker, is that I've come to love this city of Saginaw. I watch your council meetings avidly every 2 weeks, and I can see the passion and the commitment and your service. It's a new season, it's a new day, a new anointing is coming our way. And I don't think you've said it. I think I'm the first person to say that tonight. I beat you to it, Mayor, but actually it's an honor because I saw you sitting there and I was so glad. I didn't know you were being re-elected, but we need more of Moore, because Moore is a wonderful human being. And what this city needs, what you bring, Madam Mayor, if I may say, so you bring your love. And I see it in this council, and as someone who has skin in the game, to use another of your quotes, it's an honor to be here today with you, and as it says there, to give you some appreciation, because I really, really value what you're all doing for this community. All of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, that now takes us to the remarks of council. We need him to sign up next week.
Just thought I'd throw it.
Okay, let me get serious again. And it is a new season and a new day. Thank you, sir. We will begin tonight. Council members, you have 3 minutes to present. You will be timed by the clerk. We will stick to our 3 minutes as well. Tonight, we will begin our remarks. You know what? I'm lost. Okay, we will begin with Councilman Copeland.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you to all of our public speakers. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your passion with us this evening. I do want you to know that your comments were taken to heart, and we have our notes to go back on. I also want to say welcome to my new colleague, I was about to say Congresswoman, Councilwoman Garcia. Welcome to the team. Welcome. Looking forward to hearing and your feedback and what you have to bring to this great team. So welcome to you. Today, I'm really going to be short. I think today I spent a time in reflection and prayer because I really take the movements and the takes of our city very seriously, and so I didn't take us selecting a mayor and a pro tem lightly, because where we are as a community, we're at a dire state in our community. And it's not just, who can get the most votes, who can take the passion of our community and make sure that we're moving forward. Not saying everyone that was nominated can do that. But today, my staff and I were going through a review of our strategic plan. And a lot of times we create mission statements and vision statements, and we never revisit them. Every 5 years when it's time for us to actually review them, that's when we look at them again. But today I just took some time at work and I just reviewed them. And I reviewed that our mission statement is that as the city of Saginaw, we're committed to providing high quality services to ensure an inclusive, safe, and vibrant community to which we live, work, learn, and play. Saginaw, through collaboration and public-private ventures, will be a welcoming community that promotes neighborhood growth, stimulates business development and innovation, and fosters entertainment and educational opportunities for all. But our core values, diversity and inclusiveness, service, accountability, and responsiveness, unity, collaboration, and teamwork. And I think what I took that as a resolve today for myself was a recommitment or a continuous commitment to not only just our core values, but our vision statement and our mission for what we do as council members. We can easily get involved in our community and the things that are going on, but at the end of the day, as a city, this is how we operate. These are our core values. How often as a community are we reviewing our core values, making sure that we're living those out? And it's a pleasure to work with all of you all another 2 years as we continue to live out and make decisions and support our mission statement, our vision statement, and most of all, our core values, because that means every decision that we make should come from these core values. And I believe we are now as a city in an important time to make sure that everything we do from this point forward is leading by our core values. Thank you. Happy holidays. Enjoy your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Sylvia.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so very much for coming to your city council meeting this evening. I'd like to thank all the speakers. I'd like to extend my hand in speaking to some of you all and visiting some of your places, like the READ programs, definitely want to come. And you all know my passion, our youth. And to the young man, hopefully we can speak and we can find some closure in regards to you study coming to city council with the same, addressing the same issues in your neighborhood. Something should hopefully be done in regards to that. I also like to say congratulations to the newly elected council person. I'd like to say congratulations to the re-elected council persons. I'm sure we're going to get together and we're going to work harder, even harder than we've done in the past. So you all have a lovely Turkey Day, and God bless. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Start by saying I am literally on 2 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours. I feel like I'm dreaming right now. But
wake up.
Yeah, this is an exciting evening at this table. This is beautiful. The diversity that is at this table right now, and congratulations, Councilwoman Garcia, and to our other council people that were elected and our new Mayor Pro Tem. Also, thank you to the McMillans for coming forward. That's a beautiful program, and I look forward to hearing more about that. I am actually going to stop talking right now. Thank you, Mayor.
You want some water? I think he's done. I think he's done, like the turkey, done. We have Councilman Balls.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the city council meeting today. I'd like to thank the voters for re-electing me and the other city council people to another term for city council. We all are involved in doing civic things for the city of Saginaw, and I'm sure we all will continue to do that. But I would like to definitely thank Dr. McMillan for giving her all to the citizens of the city of Saginaw. Normally people like Dr. McMillan, they get those degrees and they leave the hell up out of this area. But thank God she come here to help our children out. Everybody knows that our kids really need help in the city of Saginaw. The reading program is a beautiful program for our kids. It helps them to broaden their scope so they can see other things. Everybody knows we have a lot of different problems in the city of Saginaw, one of them being fatherless homes. And that probably come from them not being able to read efficiently to get up and go and do other jobs besides want to work in a plant or be a basketball player or something like that. But we definitely need to get behind programs like this that's going to improve our kids. A lot of people talk about Saginaw, or some people have talked about Saginaw being nasty. And it's probably because of things like that where we're not helping our youth grow up and be productive members in society. And it's all of us, not only Dr. McMillan, Youth Development Corporation, Big Brothers and Sisters program, it's all of us that need to get involved in these kids' life. We have a young man that come here all the way from Dante Davis, come all the way here from California and started a STEM program here in the city of Saginaw. And we thank God for people like that to come back into the city to put something to our youth so they can see bigger things. You know, and I thank God for people like him, you know, and if we can all continue to do things like this, Saginaw will definitely be a better place to live for all of us. But if we don't get involved in these kids' life, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. I think it's all of our faults here in this room, the ones that are not getting involved in these kids' lives while they shooting and killing each other. It's a damn shame. Every week we got to deal with this. You don't know how my heart go out to these youth and the families, the people that's losing their kids because they're dying, and others losing because they're going to jail, and other kids are losing their parents because they're not involved in their lives because they're going to jail because of alcohol and drugs and those things and that issue. So we must put something in our kids. With these ARPA dollars that we got, if we don't put some money in those grassroots programs, community centers, reading programs, then it'd be our fault in the city of Saginaw because this cycle is going to continue. The only way we're going to break the cycle of these kids' lives is to put them back into community centers where they can find mentors. People's going to tell them to do the right thing. Because if the kid's going to be mentored, I don't care no way how you see it. Either the bad guy going to mentor him or the good guy going to mentor him. So it's our job is to put some money where the good guys are so they can mentor the kids, because those other guys, those mentors are there too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Scherzer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to thank everyone. Sorry, I have a little sinus issue right now. Thank all of our public speakers. Literacy is so important in our community, and what you are doing is priceless and definitely needed. So thank you, and thank you for continuing to do it. Excuse me. It is the holiday season, so please remember to shop local, eat local, support our small businesses. They need us. I also want to give thanks, well, not a thanks, I'm sorry. Congratulations to our new probationary firefighters on our Saginaw Fire Department. Ian Grodzinski, maybe, Robert White, Madison Gonzalez, and Samuel Kernet. Welcome to the Saginaw Fire Department. We are glad to have you. I would be remiss not to recognize my beautiful sorors in the audience tonight. Much love to you. And the Divine Nine family got a little bit larger over the weekend. If you don't know who that is, it's the Black Greek letter organizations here in the city of Saginaw. So congratulations to, I believe, Kappa Alpha Psi, brought in new member Hurley Coleman, and my new frat brother of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Kevin Jones. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. And lastly, I know I shared a couple meetings back some personal grief that I was going through, and I want to thank everyone for the reaching out. Please remember that you never know what someone is going through. People are suffering. People are struggling.
Yes.
But there are many people and organizations in our community that show love every day and are willing to step up and provide the support and resources that are needed. So grab somebody, support somebody, mentor somebody, show somebody something. If they are in need, help them. And most importantly, love everybody. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next, we have the honor of having our newly elected Ms. Garcia speak. Councilwoman Garcia.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Moore, for the introduction. I'm humbled to be here with you guys. This is all new to me. I enjoyed hearing everybody. I've been in the city for a long time, working out in the community, so it touches my heart. It's everybody's story. And to hear, I've been a social worker with seniors is my heart. And so to hear about the transportation through STARS, I've always wanted to ride a bus, so I might have to come see you guys, because I've never rode our buses here. I've rode subways in New York, so I just want to say thank you and hearing everybody's concerns, and that's how I started and got here, because concerned citizens of the community. It was a Facebook newsfeed that I've done during the pandemic, and so I'm here on behalf of my concerned citizens of the community to represent them, and I'm just honored and excited to meet everybody and talk to you, and I've met so many people already, had fun in the parade. Freezing Saturday, but it was a lot of fun, and I definitely would do it again, even if it snowed. But thank you guys for coming out, and happy holidays, and thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Flores.
Thank you, Mayor, and congratulations to Mayor Pro Tem Bench and to Mayor Moore and to the newly elected and to Councilwoman Scherzer. Paul, if you want to hear a good Saginaw song, it's from Lefty Frizzle, and it's called Saginaw, Michigan, so check that out. Yeah, again, congratulations specifically. Oh, first, I want to thank former Councilman Ostash for all his service. He was a really kind person that helped me out a lot when I got on council, so, you know, shout out to him. Thank you for all he's done for the city, and looks like he's going to continue to do for the city. I just want to put everything in context for newly elected Councilwoman Garcia. She's the first Hispanic woman elected to the city council. This is the first time we have 2 Hispanics on the council, and this is the first time that we have majority women on the council. So I think, no pressure, but this is historic in so many different ways, and good job, Saginaw, and congratulations to you. Miss Cheney, my mom, worked at BV as well. Rita Flores at the time, Rita Waterman, yeah. So your organization and your effort is near and dear to my heart. So I'll continue to do what I can to help you all out. Just to let everybody know that spoke with ARPA today, you are the class of 250. We've had over 250 people, 259 according to my calculations, which works out to about 12.95 hours of people coming, speaking about what they want to do to help our city, which is amazing. So we're going to continue to hear as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your time coming out today to speak on what we can do to help our city. I just want to bring attention to something real quick. We have a missing child. You know, he's 21, but also I still would consider him a child. His name's Mr. Cosby. He goes by Rico Santana. If anybody has any information, please call Detective Jebs at 989-280-1550. And then also the Saginaw Police Department at 989-759-1289. And then his mother's number is 989-906-5729, or call 911. I'll post that on my Facebook page so we can get a good idea of what he looks like. But he's been missing for about a week and a half, and we really want to be able to find him and make sure he's okay. And then also, we have Christmas with Angels this year again. Last year, I had stated that I would match $300 if anybody wanted to contribute with me. Nobody took me up on that offer, so I just gave $300 to Christmas with Angels. Best $300 I spent. But Saginaw, I would love to match you. If you're able to do that, please get a hold of me, 989-992-3803. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Bench.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to all of our public speakers tonight. Thank you first and foremost for the work that you do in our community, and thank you for your continued advocacy, because as we've mentioned before, we do have many important decisions before us with ARPA to make, and hearing from you all certainly helps guide our decisions, and it reminds us just of how many people are out there working to make Saginaw a better place. I'd like to thank my colleagues very much. I've served on this council for a long time, and I've loved mostly every moment of it, and to have the opportunity to serve as Mayor Pro Tem means a great deal to me, and in particular to be able to serve as Mayor Pro Tem at a time that we have Mayor Moore serving in that capacity, it's even more meaningful to me. So I hope to make you proud and do a good job, and I appreciate the support from my colleagues. And I also want to congratulate all of our returning members, and just say that I'm grateful to serve with you all, and I'm glad that you were returned to us. And Ms. Garcia, Councilwoman Garcia, I am so excited to work with you. I am really looking forward to everything that you bring to the table. I can't see you, I'm sorry. But you have a tremendous amount of experience, and I had somebody say to me that with every election in the city of Saginaw, the council looks more and more like the community it represents. And I think that's a wonderful thing, and to have 5 women, and I would add the other historic duo of 2 women in these roles. We're just making a lot of progress, and I think we're doing a lot of good things, and I hope this is a sign of all of the new things and the wonderful things we're going to do in our new season. So thank you. That's all I have.
Well, the best is last. Mr. Paul, you know what? Can you be my cheerleader? Can I Okay. All right, I know I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I will admit, I'll own it. However, I'd like to thank all of the citizens in the city of Saginaw for re-electing me. The day of election, I was not around like I normally am because I was in the hospital. Minor, but I'm good. But I'm good now. You know, eventually they replace everything and make it new, so they say. My age don't tell it, but I'm great right now. I'd like to also thank my colleagues for re-electing me for mayor. You are so right. It's a new season. It's a new day. I know that the community thinks that we've forgotten or we don't want to do this ARPA stuff the right way, but I want you guys to understand this. This is a tedious job. Although they say I make a little extra money, trust me, I drive a car that burns premium. It does not even fill up my gas tank. So I don't want you to think that we just sitting back trying to just do. No, we're really trying to do our due diligence to actually do some positive things. I know that our next topic is one thing, but we know that youth and parks and recreation has got to be in there. We understand where everybody is coming from. And if y'all could just get, I know we've been saying this, give us a little time. You know, we want to do what's right because we don't have money to pay back. Unless some of y'all want to start passing the hat every meeting. If we have to return money, that's what we're going to end up doing. For my newly elect, I had the opportunity to ride on the float next to her, freezing. We laughed and we talked about how cold it was. And I think the coldest part was coming back from the parade because we rode on the back of a flatbed and the wind was killing us. So by the time all of us got back, if we weren't freezer burn, we were freezer burn. And, you know, she is to be commended because she had suffered an illness that I had said, tell her, I say, don't come if it's going to make her sicker. And she came anyways. For those that didn't come to light up the city, you missed a treat. You missed a treat. I had the opportunity to watch the lights go on, as well as 2 days of coldness. Also be on the inside for the gingerbread houses, which the door stayed open at the Anderson and Richmond Center. If you have not seen our lights, please ride down Washington. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Your next order of business is reports from the city manager.
Yes, Mr. Manager.
Thank you,
I'm back.
Madam Mayor. So congratulations to the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and all those who were newly elected or re-elected during the election. Just wait a second. And we have a few presentations this evening, but first I wanted to, a couple of congratulations and thank yous, and I would like to congratulate City Clerk Janet Santos, Deputy Clerk Chris Bolzman, the clerk staff, and all of their election workers. They're doing a great job with the election and running the polling sites and efficiently and effectively getting the results to the county clerk. Thanks for all their hard work. And it used to be, I think it's gotten a lot more efficient. They finish up much earlier than they used to, so some of that technology has really helped out. So thank you to the clerk and the deputy clerk and their staff. And I also want to recognize our group of staff who worked on the We Love Saginaw Businesses Trunk or Treat event that we had at City Hall on October 27th. It was brought to us as an idea by council, but we handed it off to the DDA and the SEDC, so they did a great job. I was surprised at how many kids were at that event, so thank you for all of their work on that as well. And I know it's hard to keep track of everything, especially sometimes when you don't come to all of the meetings, so I'll get questions from even other governmental entities about our ARPA, but just as a reminder, at the last special meeting, council did allocate $11.6 million in ARPA funding to help with housing and blight elimination, $5 million for revolving loan fund for commercial and residential housing projects and development, $3.8 million to improve residential owner-occupied houses, $2 million to address the food desert in the city, and $800,000 for environmental investigations and cleanup. I'll tell you that we are working on all of these items. The revolving loan fund is much more complicated than you would think it would be due to the legislation and some of those rules, but we're working on that, and we have another meeting set up for tomorrow to try to move that forward. The food desert allocation, we are also looking for, the first item in that motion was to do a feasibility study, and we are working to get a firm to do that at this time. As you can imagine, because of all of the ARPA funding, a lot of the feasibility studies, there are a lot of firms that do them, but a lot of them are being engaged at this time from various cities. But I think we should be able to have one very soon. The other two items, we have presentations this evening to give you an update. As those are underway, those are going to be city-run. So our first presentation is related to the environmental investigation and cleanup, which was an $800,000 allocation. We had a contracted individual here working on this prior, I think maybe even into the COVID pandemic, but we did eliminate that last year, I think. And this funding allows us to bring that back, which can help lead to investigations for illegal dumping in the neighborhoods and prosecution for that, and also helps with the cleanup. So with that, I'll ask Mr. Rabideau. He wanted to provide council with an update and contact information this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, city staff, and residents. My name is Alan Rabideau. I am the sole proprietor of Capital A Investigations. And as you can see, some of the projects that already are underway with your ARPA funds. You had hired me to investigate illegal dumping, and I'm here. The boots are on the ground, and it's working. My phone number, if the residents, please write that phone number down, or the email. That is my contact information about illegal dumping, and it is working. I've cleaned up over 21 sites, and I've got another 21 that should be done by in the next couple of weeks. The issues is equipment, and that's the important thing, to get out there and have the equipment to get rid of this dumping. Councilman Balls, I'm happy to say that Bagley, Boxwood, and Gary are completely cleaned up, except one site, and that's a tire site. That's a 30 tire site that is going to take some time to get done. So also, I'd like to thank you for hiring me, and I'm definitely want to continue and do a good job. And please write that down, and don't hesitate to call. Any questions, be happy to help out. As of today, there is one, I do have one suspect in custody, so it is working. So it's important to call, because all I do then is start patrolling the city like I used to when I was working for the city, and you know, writing it down. If I can get a call, I can get it and work it right away. So the quicker you call, the quicker we can get a resolution to the case. And there's a massive tire issue right now. We have probably 120 tires that are dumped throughout the city. So we definitely need to work on that and find out who's doing that. Usually it's one company, we get them, and then it starts all over again. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Do we have any, don't leave yet. Do we have any questions?
I do.
It's all over the table. I'm gonna do one on each end. Councilwoman Sylvia.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. What I have to say is real quick. I cannot see over there, but it's the gentleman that came up and made a presentation here. I would love for you to get with him so we could possibly address the issues that he's brought to council.
I'm aware of Ansley, and it is being addressed.
Okay, thank you so very much. Good job.
Yes, I was actually there.
Okay.
Okay, on this end, who did we have?
I did.
Councilwoman Garcia?
No.
Okay.
With the money that we set aside, I know it was discussed about purchasing vehicles, and are we anywhere near that one?
In response to that, I would say yes. There's, because of supply chain issues, there's been a delay in getting the equipment, but it's already been addressed, and we're moving forward with that.
Thank you.
Can I comment on that?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be working with the fleet manager to get certain vehicles to make it easier for me. I'm a one-man crew to get into a trailer, to get the trash into the trailer to a dump site.
Thank you.
Councilman Williams.
Any preventative strategies being put in place for the future as far as how to basically just prevent it from happening? Cameras, anything like that being discussed?
Yeah, Chief, what we've got going on is we have cameras out in the field right now. I watch them every day. Every weekend, I've got a computer that comes home with me, and I keep an eye on it, and we are gonna put more cameras out. And Gary's gonna be the first street, I can guarantee it.
Thank you very much.
And the house is boarded up on the corner, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else on this
Just
end?
one real quick. Are you gonna be expanding your staff?
At this time, no.
Okay, there's no plan to do that?
There's no money.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Back on this end.
What type of equipment are you gonna need? And what you
I'm-
gonna need, and what are you gonna get?
What I'm proposing is getting a grapple truck. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it with waste management. It's probably like a 40-yard dump, and there's this grapple, basically, it grabs onto it. Many of the dumps are curbside, so it's a matter of me pulling up, getting out of the truck, getting up to the grapple, bringing it up. As Mr. Yolanda said, it's a time frame issue. And that's gonna be, one of the nice things about that is once this ARPA funds is gone, and I'm gone, the equipment will still be there, so people can utilize it for the illegal dumping, because it'll never go away.
So are we getting a camera on Boxwood?
Yes, we can make that happen, absolutely.
Okay, I mean, we really need one. I mean, whoever that guy is, he's a remodeler, and he dump all his trash right there.
Right.
All the time.
It's an opportunistic area because it's not well lighted, there's no one there, and, I'm there pretty much every day, keeping an eye on it now.
Thank you.
One last question. Are we, and this can be for our manager as well, are we looking at, I know we had someone come in and talk about our fees for dumping and how we're on the lower end. Are we moving towards having anything adopted that would increase our dumping fees?
So I remember that the sign was not accurate. I think our fee is much higher than what is on those signs.
Okay.
Something like a $20 sign, but I think that has been addressed by council already. Really, the biggest deterrent to it is the prosecution, which when Alan was with the city before, I think they had a number of cases sent to the prosecutor's office. Once we do that, it's their decision on how to move forward with it, but we can get it to that point. So another important point to make about these types of investigations, and this is one problem comes after the other, as you're aware. So we had blighted homes before, and as the other gentleman said, you tear those down. Yes, you can, but then you have these vacant lots which are prime for dumping, especially the old way that the city used to do it where we didn't remove driveway approaches. People can back right up to that, but with the staff that we normally have, we really don't have anyone who does investigations for dumping on staff. So a number of years ago, we set up the group that's scenic within our inspections department. Those individuals are really our inspectors, rental inspectors, electrical inspectors, so they took that on separately. So having someone like Alan on staff contracted to help us, I think it's really you're gonna see some results like we did the short time he was with us before. If you don't know, he's a retired police officer, which is what he was referring to with the city before, so that adds to that investigative point of what he's doing with us.
I have one quick question. I know city manager or someone can answer. Are the dumping, the people that's dumping, are the fees so high, or is it just, you can't read in the person's mind that they're being just lazy, but are the fees extremely high and they can't pay for it, or they going around paying? Is it so much to dump at the site? Look,
I can answer that pretty quickly. It's opportunistic is really what it is. You have contractors, you have homeowners. For instance, last week, there was a dead squirrel in a bag, and it was 5 or 6 bags, and that person didn't want to wait for the normal drop-off day, and they just throw it in the middle of the street. So that happens, and the contractors will say, hey, it's going to be $300 to dump this roofing material, and they pocket that $300. So that's really what it's all about. I was gone for almost a year, And when I worked prior to, I had about 27 identified dumpers, and they came from all walks of life. People that drove Denali's, and they emptied their Denali out. And then we had construction workers, we had just regular citizens. I had a gentleman on Moulton Street that he had 4 or 5 boxes, but he forgot that small box with the address. So, you know, it's just getting out there and investigating them and knowing that I'm out there, because watch out, the big guy with glasses is driving around. And, you know, that's really what it's all about. I talk to a lot of people. I go into all the businesses, talk to the store owners, and they tell you, hey, they're afraid of you. They know your car, you know, and they're not doing it anymore. So it does work, but you got to keep at it. You got to, you know, you can't just one side go away or whoever goes away. You know, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not a master investigator. It's just I'm out there getting those boots on the ground and making something happen. It's very simple. It's not rocket science.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So, Mayor, the city ordinance is a fine of up to $500 and 90 days in jail. So it has been adjusted, so I would probably need to remove those old signs or update them.
And contrary to popular belief, the signs don't work. Because there's dumping where the signs are at.
Darn.
That's
You know
what a
what?
lot of people, the first thing they say, why don't you put up signs? No, it's not gonna work.
Cameras work better than signs.
Absolutely. I should have brought the camera. I could have showed you how it works, and it's great. The photos are just like that. You, last time I was working, a red S10 comes backing up, see the license plate, it's perfect, so it works. So we'll definitely have more of that. Yes, sir.
Can we put that on the news?
Oh,
Yes, I
oh,
can.
absolutely.
I mean, I think we should put them people on blast.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, last time I was here, like I said, I was gone for almost a year, so before, I worked pretty heavily with the news. If something would come up, and yeah, it definitely worked.
Put them on our Facebook page? Oh. Okay, and then on the news.
Absolutely.
All right,
Good.
thank you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I'd like to welcome you back. I know that I've been getting calls, so I know you've been busy. A lot of the calls that I would get have stopped. Because I always say, okay, we waiting, and then they'll call back. We not waiting. He's been here. And you're right. That's how they identify you. The man with the glasses in the truck. And I'm like, how people wear glasses in the truck? But if that's what it takes, I'm in. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Too.
So our second report is with the $3.8 million to improve residential owner-occupied homes in the city. And this one, we're also doing in-house. So Ms. Yolanda Bland is going to give you all an update on the process they have set up and the plan to move that program forward.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager Morales. I'm coming today to talk about an exciting time here in Saginaw where we've allocated $3.8 million for your ARPA initiative of improving residential properties on owner-occupied dwellings, which includes roofs, furnaces, and windows. A part of your motion was also to authorize city staff to create and establish a criteria to spend these funds. So Lori Brown, the finance director, and I have been working through this process with our Saginaw Rehabilitation Home Program team. And that consists of our OMB's Community Development Block Grant Division, as well as inspections. The reason why we're working through them, because they already have a successful basic needs program. So they also have the experience with the federal laws as well. So they're a great group of individuals, and they can work us through this. So let's talk a little bit about the criteria and filling out your application, what you'll need and everything. To be eligible for this program, you must be a city resident. That's the requirement. You must prove residency for 1 year at the dwelling, and this is accomplished through a copy of a deed or a utility bill. You must fall below ARPA household income limit, which is 300% of LMI, and that was established by the ARPA Act itself. So what we're asking as you come in with your documentation is to also bring in documentation of income. You must be current on property taxes, water fees, or have a completed MyHalf application. If you have to use a MyHalf application, if you fill it out, you normally get an account number that would show us that you're working with them to satisfy maybe some of the water or property debt. It should be noted that even though we have $3.8 million, funds are limited. So we created like a selection process looking at not only the act itself, but have an internal selection committee that's gonna review everything as we get the applications coming through. Again, to expedite the application process, we're encouraging and asking that the applicants bring all the required documentation with them as they're filling out the application. So let's talk about the rollout. Okay. There's 3 phases that we have identified in this process. The first phase is furnaces, and that's actually going to start real soon here, December 22 through February of 23. Our phase 2 will cover roofs, and because of the weather, you can't work on roofs at this point in time, so that's going to be spring of 23. And windows is phase 3. Again, that's going to start in spring of 23 and into the summertime. And again, that's related to the weather. So going into more details about the furnaces. So we're accepting application for furnaces from December 3rd through December 10th. So both Saturday, December 3rd and December 10th, we will be right here in council chambers and we'll be taking applications. From the 5th through the 9th, individuals can call city staff and set up a time to fill out their application, discuss if they have additional information. So again, repeat this, December 3rd, December 10th, the intake is here at City Council. From December 5th, which is a Monday, through Friday, December 9th, residents can schedule an appointment with city staff from 8 o'clock to 3 p.m. Now, due to the cost of the materials, and again, we've talked a couple times about supply chain issues and the cost of individual items going up, we're also asking residents to only select one of the services. And that again goes back to the amount of monies that we have available to spend on each of the different areas. So how can you reach us? Okay, so you can schedule an appointment, or for more information, you can call us at 989-577-0184, or we set up an email address at arpaservice@saginaw-mi.com. So at this time, if this moves, there we go. I'm open for questions.
Yes. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a couple of questions. I don't know, we're gonna go back and forth. I just asked them all. Okay. Let me see the best one. In regards to the time frame, 1 week, I'm wondering, would that be considered maybe to add more than 1 week to that time frame, as far as, persons having to gather different information that you all are requesting? Just wondering if that is feasible to give persons more time than 1 week.
We have discussed it. We did talk about like either extending it or not extending it. The week time frame, having the 2 actual days, we're going to have individuals come to the city, but then also scheduling a meeting with individuals who can't make it during those regular time. But at this point, that's why we decided just to go with the week, because normally we have like 1 day that we would do this in, but this is at the time what we decided. But that can change,
Oh, y'all ain't got no questions on this either? Okay, I'm good. Councilman Boss.
The phases are for furnaces,
Yes.
December, February, roofs, spring, whatever. But you say, so when a person come in,
Yes.
he can fill out for all 3 different phases at that time? Is that the only time you get to fill out for those phases?
We're planning on having a big campaign coming for the roofs. They come in, we really just want them to select one item that they want to get done the most because of, again, the funding that's available to us. We will be having a big kickoff, like with, in the spring, no tarps on the roofs kind of thing. So there's gonna be more information. We may have another period come open for the roofs. Yes.
So when they come in between December the 3rd and December the 10th, they gotta pick 1 of 3?
They will be, well, it's for furnaces, so we're pushing furnaces during that time frame, but they can select which items they're trying to do.
Okay. I was wondering if it's gonna be a different date for.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. December 10th and the 3rd through the 10th is furnaces only.
Okay, that's what I'm
Yes.
trying to get at.
I'm sorry.
And then there'll be a phase where they have a week to do the next, the roofs or the windows.
That will happen during the springtime.
Okay, all right. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Oh, excuse me. Man, if I can get 2 out. But I see the windows, roofs, furnaces, excuse me. And I know we just can't do everything, but a lot of time, if your windows are messed up, your doors are messed up. And a lot of times there's something wrong with your roof, your window, you know, how it just kind of down.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, even though it's not here, is there dollars maybe you could possibly?
It really is gonna depend on the cost of everything. Again, everything has gone up. So when we're looking at furnaces, we're looking at not only just the furnace itself, but the ductwork and the chimney liner. When we're looking at roofs, we're looking at everything that goes below it.
Okay.
The bigger issue is that we will be spending more money towards our furnaces and on roofs, because when you start getting into windows, you're getting into lead. And the lead remediation that will come with it, that's a lot more costly than what people think it is.
Right.
So,
I think you're gonna have, I think the way that the thinking behind why they're doing it is because you need furnaces now. So that's the phase 1. But it's sounding like a lot of money, $3.8 million. Once you start thinking a furnace is $10,000, or maybe a little more depending on what you have in your home. A roof is going to be probably between $10,000 and $20,000, and then windows, who knows? So I think their idea to start with furnaces is good because of the current need, and then roof is the second important thing to have your house buttoned up. And I think windows is a little bit farther down, but I think with what they already have, they're gonna go through that $3.8 million fairly quickly, which is good for us to be pushing the money out. But I don't know that there's gonna be any more in that allocation for other items in the house. But those are, I think, which is why the motion was made that way, those are 3 very important parts to your home to have buttoned up. There is always, they have they're kind of basing this on their CDBG program. So they do take applications for that every year too. So that will continue as well as long as you're in those census districts. So that the nice thing about the ARPA in this case is that it's going to be open citywide and allocated based upon your income level first. So if you're a lower to moderate income family or individual, you can't even apply for the block grant funding. So this, I think, is a really good program to open that up to people who have the need. But it is going to go. I know you talked about the 1 week. I'm going to bet they get so many applications in that 1 week that they're not going to be able to fund even half the people who apply, I would guess. But we'll bring you those statistics back when there's, so that you can see that as we go through the process.
Councilwoman Scherzer.
He answered my question.
He answered it. Hold
on. So I was in the barber shop, and the barber asked me, he doesn't have a furnace, so there's nothing to replace or fix. Would he qualify for this particular program?
He doesn't have a furnace.
He owns his house, but he does not have a furnace.
Okay, so does he have like boiler heat? I mean, how is he heating the home?
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to get in his business like that. I just know what he told me. So, but
Well, I would think he could come in and apply, and
Yeah.
obviously, there's gonna be a need there.
Yeah.
Right.
So then they're gonna look at the need and then the income levels first. So I would
Right.
encourage him to come in and apply.
So those individuals who don't have a furnace, they would rise higher on the scale. And then it would go by, income.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get you. I need to ask this because it's burning me. I need to get a clear understanding. What's the income guideline? Because I thought that this was gonna be a program that was gonna help a lot of people. Not a lot, but those people who did not fall in the CBDG bracket.
Okay, so the ARPA guidelines is 300% of LMI. So low to moderate income level, they're looking at 300%.
So what is the CBDG?
I believe they're 80%.
So it is 350, anybody can apply.
Yeah,
As long
it's
as
basically 300% of LMI is what ARPA says that's the guideline for income.
So is that based on census tract? No, or?
It's based on income. That's what they put in the rule is 300%.
Yolanda, do you have some examples of that with you right now?
I do not have
We can
examples
send that
from
to
us,
council.
No.
We can provide that to you. We'll send it to you in an email.
Please do.
Okay, maybe I can get out these two. Are you doing any collaboration? And the reason I ask, I've had several people speak to me in regards to, I'll just say Habitat, where they meet or they approve, but Habitat only gives, I think, like $750 for a roof. So would there be any collaborative effort in that area? Have you thought about it? Yes, no, maybe?
My deputy, Kena Franklin, she has been in contact with multiple community partners. Habitat is one of the partners that we've spoken to. Saginaw CAC we've spoken to. So there's multiple partners that we've reached out to.
So that, like, they may supply 1/3 of the dollars, and we would supply the 2/3 or
But
something like
there's a
that?
potential
Yeah,
to that.
okay.
So we want to make sure you understand that we have already reached out to community partners.
Okay, good. And so my other question is, you had mentioned about an internal committee what will they be looking for?
So basically what we're doing is you're accumulating all the applications. And then we're looking at it like if you have like no furnace, you would rise to the top of the
Okay.
list. And then it would go by the income.
Okay,
So, and work down from there.
okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. If somebody comes in and they're not caught up on their property tax or water fees, what type of guidance is given to them to be able to?
We would encourage them to get in contact with MyHab, where they can provide assistance. What they would be requiring is for them to go through the application process and provide us with your application number.
So would that be able to fit within the time frame for that?
It's an online application. They should be able to complete it and get it back to us.
Okay. Would renters be able to, if it's like a personal renting situation, or no?
Did you say renters?
Yeah.
No, it's homeowner. It's owner occupied.
So even if they're renting it out to their family members?
It's owner occupied.
Okay. And then people are only able to, they can't call right now and then ask for an appointment?
No, the application period starts on December 3rd, and then it's open after that for individuals to call in or email.
And then from the 5th until the 9th?
We're gonna schedule appointments, meet with applicants, and then tell them what they need to, if they want to bring it in on the 10th, we'll have another session on the 10th from 10 to 4. So the 3rd and the 10th will be 10 to 4 here at City Hall. They can either schedule an appointment or work with staff to get your application together to bring it on one of those dates.
You know, I'd like to see I'd like to see us do something on our Facebook page, so that some people do read Facebook. If we've got Twitter, put it on all of the pages. Okay, we know we'll get an overabundance. However, but we can help as many as we can. The other thing is, what is the limitation on furnace? I mean, you got 3.5 million. How much do you plan to spend on those 3 different groups? That's a question that we need to answer.
So amongst the group of us, we've talked about like spending about $1 million on furnaces, because they're ranging about 6,000. We don't know what kind of work they may need for duct work or chimney liner. We're looking at something a little bit like maybe $1.5 million for roofs, but roofs are actually ranging between, you know, 12,000 to 16,000, and there's issues that come with that, and then the remaining on windows. But again, we caution with windows because of the lead remediation, which makes it a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
So are we looking at our local unions to help? We have some union workers who do a lot of this stuff, or are we going through companies? What are we doing?
So what we've done so far, what Kana and her, the CDBG staff has done is they've actually sent out invitations to 40 contractors. And we've already had contractor meetings. 9 different contractors have come and met with them to go over what they're needing for this program. So we've already reached out to individuals who can perform the work.
So we're not looking for any new?
We're looking for new. I mean, we have a hard time in general with having contractors. So if they're willing to come and meet with staff and meet their criteria, we're willing to work with them.
I just had one last one, just for clarification for the appointments. And I'm assuming that we're going to be servicing the elderly, hopefully. What if somebody's in the hospital and they're not able to make that appointment date? They're still able to go after the 9th if they call in?
I'm sure if they call in, we can try to make some sort of arrangements to assist them.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I would bring up one item for council to consider, and it's not something that you need to determine right now, but from the staff looking at this program, they did indicate that through their evaluation, the windows portion is the most difficult just because of potential lead issues and other work that could be around there. I asked them to include that because that was in the council motion, but if council determines that maybe that's a little bit too much work or a little too costly, because windows can be, as you all know, probably 20,000 plus. If you would like, as they move through the process and they do furnaces first and then roofs, if we get later into next fall and you want to say, hey, maybe we want to move more of this money back to furnaces because we recognize there's more need for that, that's something we would encourage you to do, to think about.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but not a question, but a comment just came from hearing what you said. And like we've always said, this is a one-time funding, you know, and we'd like to help as many people as we can. We would have loved to get, me personally, give all 409 people some money, but we just can't do that. When it's over, it's over. You know, when the money gone, it's just gone, you know. We've done, you know, what we could, and we helped as many people as we possibly could, you know. So maybe if it's dollars left over, we can move them, but when it's done, we done our part, I believe. So, yes.
You know, I've got one concern that really, when this motion was made, it wasn't made that they had to pick. If my furnace is out and my roof is leaking, to me, help me understand. I shouldn't be getting no furnace, because what if the roof is leaking and it burns out the furnace that we just put in? I mean, I guess I'm looking at, yes, I'm playing the devil's advocate, and I don't know if we thought about it, you know, so it's just food for thought. You know, I know that Councilman Balls did indicate they have to choose one or the other. Well, my furnace out right now, but I need a roof. So I guess I got lost on that one, so, you know, I can meet, I'll meet with y'all later on that, but that's a concern, you know? Yes.
No, what I meant was, from December the 3rd to December the 10th, do you have to pick one? I'm thinking that a person could pick one during December the 3rd and the 10th, and then when the next round come around, if they need a roof, they can put in another application. Am I right or wrong? I mean, how you gonna stipulate?
So December 3rd through December 10th is applications for furnaces.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think from what their parameters they have now, you would select one of the items. And the reason, the logic behind that is so that you can help the highest amount of people that you can. And quite possibly through this process, you could connect them with other resources. So you need a furnace, but you may need a roof too. Let's connect you with Habitat or CAC or something, another organization that can help leverage those funds. But I mean, and Yolanda's staff can tell you more, but you could probably spend a large amount of money on a few people or try to help the highest number of people you can, which I think is what part of the reason for the motion was, for this action was to try to help the highest number of people as you can.
I didn't think that we had stipulated, if they only get one. I'm sure the motion wasn't in there where they only get one thing. I mean, if they got more than one thing they need wrong, let's fix that so the other part don't. We can fix a roof today, fix a furnace, then the roof is bad. We don't never fix the roof, now the furnace bad. I mean, we didn't say that they can only get one thing done. We didn't say that. So.
Yes. Okay, so I'm kind of agreeing over here with you all because that was not said. And just because I need this help doesn't mean I don't need this. So is it a time now to ask the staff or whatever, city manager, for them to go back to the table and look at this? Because you all are correct. We didn't say you can only get one thing done. And that alleviates you from getting something else done, you know.
Well, I think.
Because you all make some really valid points.
As you look through the process, though, I think if you want to change this so you can have multiple things done, then this whole thing would have to be revamped, because you then need to look at, okay, categorize people by, okay, this is your income and this is your need, but I guess our impression was you want to try to do these three categories that you made the motion for, so then it's separated. How do you, I guess the point I'd ask Yolanda or her staff to address it, but then what do you propose staff to do with people who have the very similar income needing all three items? So do we help 25 families in the city versus helping 200 people get furnaces and roofs? That's kind of the dilemma that we would have, and I think their designing of the program was to try to help the most people that you can, which I did think that was the purpose of the motion. I'm looking at Councilwoman Scherzer because it was her motion.
I guess for me, I looked at a dollar figure per house. I may not need all 20 windows in my house. I might need 2. I might not need a whole full roof. I need something at one particular spot. I've got the rest done. And so I guess I was looking at a dollar figure per household. And if they didn't use it, just like CAC and other places, then that money just goes in the kitty for the next person. But that's just me.
When we were looking at like furnaces, we said $1 million for furnace. We may be able to help 180 households.
That's a lot.
If they need to spend the whole thing, because some people might not just need some certain stuff.
Right. So, I mean, that's the kind of thinking that we were going into this.
Mayor Moore, we have a question down here that's been waiting.
Yes.
My question is, we asked a question about the community partnerships. So, because I hear where everyone is coming from. So let's say if we did go still with this opportunity with people selecting one, are there partnerships within our community already that these families would technically qualify for those additional services to be completed by those community programs?
I would say that oftentimes when we're reaching out to our community partners, they already have a list of individuals. So like CAC has a weatherization program, so they already have a list of individuals. So, yeah.
Same thing with Habitat. Yes.
I don't know, it just, I want to leave here tonight with some sort of answer, whether it's we're going to come back, or this is how this is going to be, or this is how this is not going to be, because I'm getting more like, ooh, you know, I understand parts of the dilemma, but then I do see, you know, like, okay, I need a roof or partial roof, but I also need help with my furnace. Then you're going to have some people that don't need, you know, but minimum things. So we want to make sure if we're addressing it fully, you know, addressing it like it came across. I just want to be able to leave and say, okay, I got this understanding tonight, or I don't have an understanding, and they're going to come back to council.
I think my recommendation would be that we proceed. We have the dates, and I think they're being publicized already for the initial application. Let's do the application for the furnace. We can always come back and say, you know, we're still gonna do our application process for the roofs, but maybe you can receive both.
Okay,
You know,
that sounds cool.
so that we can start the process and start pushing the money out. As Yolanda said, the number of contractors that do furnaces is limited, and we want to get them started. I mean, just doing a quick math, at about $6,500 a furnace, you could do about 584 furnaces. I bet you we could do that many in just furnaces.
That's good. Okay.
That's out of $1 million.
That's with the 3.8 million. That's spending everything on furnaces.
Oh, no, we won't do all that now.
I know you don't want to, but doing this first phase, I'm saying,
Right.
you're gonna see what the need is.
Right.
If we get, and I have no idea what the number is gonna be, but if we get 800 applications and you have 800 people in the city that don't have a furnace, council might wanna consider changing this program to say,
Right.
let's do all these furnaces. So that'll give you a good idea, and then we can always modify the program as we move through it.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure this was not edged in stone.
Right.
And we would not be flexible. So I'm good, as long as I know that it's flexible.
We're always flexible, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
One other question. This is not, these ARPA dollars that we put into this fund, you guys still got money that you can use or have been using to help people fix their homes, am I right?
That is correct. We have our regular basic needs and full rehab program.
Okay, and how much of that did you have in the basic need program?
Oh, I don't have that off the top of my
A
head, but I'm
numbers person
thinking.
like you, I know you got that. Try that.
I'm thinking, I mean, we push it out every year, and I think it's between 800 to $1 million plus. So.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Keep in mind, that money goes fast.
It does.
That, when they open that up, I think sometimes, I don't think sometimes, the majority of the time it's been open, it's gone in the first day.
Right. This past session, we had over 100 applicants by Wednesday, and it's supposed to be a week long.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a definite need. We need additional funds, whatever funds we can. That would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Look, I'm trying to get you off the hook. Any more questions? Okay.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
Mrs. Bland.
I had a question. For the city
Yes.
manager. We still in your report, right, sir?
Yeah.
How did we come out on the water shut-offs? Did we get a lot of money in? Did a lot of people get their bills shut off? Did they come up to the plate and pay their bills?
I'll have the finance director respond to that.
Well, she got a paper with it already on there?
No, she's prepared.
Yeah, so there was a point that the delinquent balance was up to around 1.7 million, and it's currently under $1 million.
All right.
So about 960,000.
So what's up with those left? The bills just left, are they occupied houses, or they left the houses, or?
We have a lot of payment plans.
Okay,
A lot
good.
of my half assistants coming in,
Okay.
United Way, CAC.
Okay.
So
So what do you think it's gonna look like, next spring?
I think we're gonna be in good shape. I hope.
All right, I'll ask you later.
Okay.
That's
Thank
good
you,
though.
Lori.
Yes, sir.
That concludes the management update.
Yes, ma'am.
When you speak about the feasibility for the food desert, is that incorporating the need for that, or?
I think we do have to design the feasibility
Mhm.
study somewhat, because that's what the motion said feasibility study, and some of the consultants are asking, well, what do you mean by that? So we're working with Guidehouse to look at some of the programs in other cities. They do a lot of work with Akron and some other cities in Michigan. So we're trying to see what types of studies they have done, and if that fits what our need is. I think there's a lot of different aspects that can be worked into
Because just
that.
needing it is not just.
No, I think the location is another thing for
Right,
them to look
right.
at, and I'll tell you that, there was a proposal that was put in, for the food club, if you guys saw that, and they did also submit, other grant applications, so another agency asked me to sit in with a meeting with them for that program, not to say that's what's gonna get funded, but we did walk through some of those things, and they are pretty far along in their process, because ARPA is not the only thing they're looking at, because they have identified the need, so they're looking at locations and different things like that. And one of the issues that I think we could identify in the feasibility study is a location that does have a loading dock and different things like that, which you need, no matter how you design it, whether it's a food co-op or the food club that they're talking about, or multiple solutions, which I think is something that we're gonna see as different solutions maybe work better for different people, and maybe some can be funded through other methods, but all those things are something that we need to look at in that feasibility portion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mayor, our next order of business now is consent agenda.
Okay. The agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage and on SGTV Channel 191. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
Second.
I got an exception.
Is there, okay,
Number 7.
number 7. Any other exceptions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
We have one exception, it's item number 7. It's approve the purchase with Kendall Electric, a sole source, for $292,437 for Allen Bradley programmable logic controllers and equipment to upgrade the supervisor control and data acquisition panels for the Water and Wastewater Treatment Services Department, Water and Wastewater Treatment Divisions. Councilmember Balls.
Yeah, I'm familiar with these controls. Are you telling me that we need to put this much, this for a new system, or existing system, or are you just going to fix some and have the rest of the controls in stock?
This is a phased replacement of the systems for water and wastewater. It includes the plants and some of the remote facilities. So this is just part of what we have to do to upgrade these systems. But these are the, if I remember right, these are PLCs, programmable logic controllers. But yeah, this is something we've been doing. I think this is the second year that we've been doing a phased approach to this. Yeah, and prices, you know, 2 to 3 times prices have gone up on most of the things that we're doing. So that's part of the problem too.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I mean, 'cause this seems like should be enough controls to last you for years, and
We wish,
you just doing this in one phase.
yeah, that this is phased. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted some clarification. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Motion to approve number 7.
Support.
It's been moved in support. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our next item is board, commission, and committee reports.
Do we have any reports? Okay. Madam Clerk.
We are now at appointment of board and commission members.
We have 9 appointments. I need a motion to approve items 1 through 9, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
Second?
Do we have any exceptions? I'm sorry. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
We're at ordinance introduction. We have one tonight. It's an ordinance to add low-income housing tax exemption for Brookwood 60 Limited Dividend Housing Association LLC, added to the table of special ordinances, section 8.
I need you ready for me? I need a motion to introduce.
Motion so moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
That ordinance will be laid over according to city charter.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Welcome, ma'am. We are now at resolutions. Our first one is objecting to the transfer of tax reverted properties from Saginaw County.
Need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is amend the brownfield plan for the city of Saginaw to include 2205 North Michigan Avenue, located at 2205 North Michigan Avenue.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our third resolution is to approve the appointment of Phil Carwatt as trustee and Beth London as alternate trustee to the Mid-Michigan Waste Authority Board.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our final resolution tonight is authorizing the submission of the MDOT Transportation Alternative Program Grant for the Cass Street Reconstruction Project.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, we're at miscellaneous business.
Do we have any miscellaneous business? I do. I need to ask the question, where are we at with the second phase of that $5.5 million that we set aside? Is that something that we need to talk about, or we gonna work on 3.5 first, 3.8 first?
Could you say that again?
There was a motion that was put on the floor for $5 million.
Yeah.
Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I included that in my update. That's the revolving loan fund. So that's a little bit more complicated than.
Okay, that's
than
fine,
this.
that's why I said. Okay.
Yeah, we're researching that still with Guidehouse. I mean, if, there's a number of issues to work through
Okay.
with setting something like that up.
How about the issue with, Housing Commission? Have we made contact, or are we moving forward? Are we reneging? What are we doing?
Well, I was going to provide it, I was going to email council with an update, but I will.
Okay.
I will say, you know, I'll tell you an update now and saves an email, but we have not heard back from the director. We've attempted to contact several times. but have not received a response. Yolanda has been working on that, and she did see her at another event and did ask about it. I did get a few questions, but we've responded to those questions, and she has still not heard back. So right now, we're in a holding pattern with that. So that's the only update we have at this time. So it'd be, I think it's something for council to consider or direct us. We can send a final notice letter to the commission or wait back for further response. But I'll say Ms. Bland has sent several emails, and I believe tried to call as well.
Yes.
I have a question in regards to that. Well, if they're not responding, then will we be taking back our money to clean it up?
So we haven't.
I mean, I know it hasn't went to them.
Right.
But we'll be taking that offer back.
So that would be your next step. If you want to direct us to give a length of time or continue to try to contact, we'll continue to do that for a period, but it is, I think, about $1.2 million, so.
That's right.
It's something that you don't want to have sit out there for too long because of the time restrictions on the program. But we do know, I know the mayor and I have met with the neighborhood groups around there, and this is a project that they do want to see move forward, but it's not necessarily, it's not our property, so we can't force them to do it, and it's not the neighborhood's property, so it's up to the housing commission to move forward.
But can't we, in that same area, but can't we, whether we take that money off the table or not, but isn't it yet and still up to them to clean that up?
Yeah, they would
they
have
own
to
the
keep the property clean. I don't think that we can require them to demo the buildings.
But we can require them to clean it up.
Yeah, typically when we do get the complaints, the city cleans up the property. So, something that I think Scenic has done several times over the years, and Alan may have as well.
Thank you.
Councilman Balls had his hand up first.
I think Councilman Copeland did. But
Councilman Copeland.
Well, I would just, being that I'm a housing commissioner, I think that we need to also include HUD into this conversation, because with that we have to, because there's some additional things that are on the table. You need to make sure that you hear from HUD. So per our previous meeting that we had as commissioners, we were updated that currently we have not heard back from HUD to give us direction on how we can actually begin this process. So if we're not hearing back, I think on our executive director, it is on their duty to respond or communicate that with the city. But currently, my question would be, what is it from HUD? We know the history and how HUD plays a part in that. And so because HUD technically is the owner, although Housing Commission has that property, it was funded through HUD. So you can't just make a move on that property without hearing back from our federal government. So I think when we go through that conversation, I would encourage a timeline, because that then will give the executive director a timeline to give to the government to say, this is what we need an answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think our best next step is probably to put together a formal letter then with a deadline and send it to the director as well as the members of the Housing Commission, so everyone has the same information. So we can put that together. We'll get that out next week, and maybe we'll put a 30 or 60 day timeline where we want to hear back from.
30.
30.
30, it's getting ready to be 3-4 months till we pass.
Don't press them too hard now. Still got to get this work done. I had a question.
Yes.
I heard that the county did not give any funds to the community centers, and they say they're waiting to see what the city gonna do. Have you have any contact with anybody from the county expressing that?
Yep, they want to know if council is going to allocate to these specific projects. So I did tell the county administrator that we, at this point, we haven't looked at any specific individual projects other than these items that we updated on tonight, including the fairground property and some other city ones like the hazard pay. So I think that what they are going to have, I'll have to look up, he sent me another email last week, but I think they're tabling it for a time-specific period.
Right.
And they do want to know if the city is going to potentially fund those or not. So I think that would be your next step as council. So we have our special meeting next Monday. That is specific for public health. But if you want to move it up to have some of the, I will say a lot of the items were youth centers, but I think they did have some public health items that they tabled as well. So I can probably send you their memo that had all of those items so that you know what they're talking about. Probably, some of you, if you went to the county meetings, you probably saw the list, and there's a number of various, I think about eight different projects.
I think
I need to throw caution out here. You're under motions or miscellaneous business for motions. You're in a discussion.
is that
I've
for
given you
everything, that's what everybody been discussing, or just what I'm discussing?
Everybody.
Okay, well,
I've given
you-
the council leeway and the mayor some leeway, but let's just keep in mind that that's not what this is structured for. Questions should be given to the manager under the manager's
Okay, well,
report. So,
next time-
Mayor, it's
Okay.
your
Next
desire
time,
now.
next time, don't let nobody do it, so we won't have to stop nobody.
That's why I'm saying I'm throwing caution out there at this point, but that's for the mayor to control too.
Well, you know what? We will bring it up under manager's report.
At the next
Any
meeting.
other comments? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?